All right, we're going to do fraction division today, but first we're going to start with some quick review problems. We're going to focus on concepts before we do rules. So the first video is going to be a video on concepts without any algorithms. And then the next thing we'll do is use algorithms to do division. So if at the end of the first video you don't understand fraction division very well, be patient and we'll go through algorithms next. Before we get started, we're going to look at some review problems from way back in elementary school. Even though you know the answer to 8 divided by 4 is 2, you might not know what that means or the reason that's true. So over to the right here, we have 8 wholes, and we're asking how many groups of 4 are in that 8 wholes. That's what a division problem means. So these bars can be grouped, and you can see that there's 2 groups of 4. And that's why the answer to 8 divided by 4 is 2. Similarly, when you do 8 divided by 2, you know that's 4. And that's because we can take these 8 bars and divide them into 4 groups, too. But when we do 8 divided by a half, a lot of people have more difficulty with that. So just think about one bar here, and we can always divide that bar into 2 sections. So I'm going to draw it differently. We could divide that bar into 2 sections, going this way. And so this piece right here is a half. And this piece right here is another half. So each of these 8 bars can be divided into halves. And when we do that, we end up with 16 pieces, because I'm dividing each one in half. So this little smiley face here is trying to get you to think about how you would say in English what this problem number 3 means. And it's asking you how many 1/2 size pieces are in the 8 whole pieces. And the answer to that is 16. So those pictures aren't very difficult, but sometimes pictures are more difficult to see. For example, when you divide a smaller number by a larger number, it's a harder picture to draw. This problem is asking how many of the 16 stars below can fit into the 8 stars. So if this is our 8 stars, and we're asking how many of these 16 stars fit into the 8 stars, only half of them fit in there. So whenever you divide a smaller number by a bigger number, you're going to get an answer that's less than 1. But because that picture is pretty hard for people to understand, another nice little thing to remember is that fraction bars are being divided. So 8 divided by 16 can also be represented as 8 over 16. And that reduces to a half. So 8 divided by 16 is 1/2, because only half of these 16 stars can fit into those 8 stars. So if we take this next step further, this problem over here is asking us how many 1/4 size, think of pizza slices, can fit into a half a pizza. So imagine over here that this is a whole pizza. And I divided it into 4ths, and the top part is a half. There are 2 1/4 slices in half, so we say the answer to a half divided by a 4th is 2. So let's think about this one. How many 4ths are in 3/4? Stick with the pizza idea. Take a whole pizza, divide it into 4ths, shade in 3/4, count how many 1/4 are in 3/4. So there's this one, and this one. There's 3 1/4 size slices in 3/4 of a pizza. So these pictures are relatively simple, but they still require some thought. This problem over here is asking us how many fourths are in 2. So think of 2 whole pizzas divided into fourths and count the pieces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 divided by a fourth is 8. What happens when you have different denominators? Sometimes, like on the left side here, it's not very hard to draw a picture for that. Sometimes it's a little trickier. This one here can be a little trickier. And this is how you might try it. Try a rectangle. Break that into 2/3. So, or into thirds. I'm going to divide this into 3 parts. And I want to know how many 1/6 fit into these 2/3 parts. So if I wanted to take that original piece and divide it in halves, each one of these is a 6. Because remember, this was all part back. Stick it back together. So there's 6 1/6 slices in a whole. But in 2/3, there are 4 1/6 slices. So as these problems get more complicated, we become more interested in an algorithm. We did this following problem in class and some more complicated ones, but we're going to stop here, and I'm going to have you look at the next video on the algorithm, because when the pictures get complicated or time-consuming, mathematicians make up algorithms.